Hello YouTube, this is MichaelBtheGameGenie, and... one second. Hey man, what's up? Yeah, you finally checked out the last review? What'd you think? Oh, okay, well... I guess not everybody's a wrestling fan. I really like the game. I think it's an excellent game. Sorry you didn't like it. Alright man, hopefully the next one will be better. I promise you, it will. Apparently, I came off a little biased in my last review. Knowing that not every gamer is a wrestling fan. I am a huge wrestling fan, and maybe that's why I like the game so much. But I promise you, this time, it's going to be a lot different. I'm going to base my review of this game solely on the merits of the game, and it has nothing to do with any of my loves from my childhood. And that game is G.I. Joe for the NES, a game where I can honestly say there's no bias involved.
Yo! He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra and Destro, fighting to save the day. He never gives up, he's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe is there!
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
He never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe!
Let's just cut to the credits. G.I. Joe was released in 1991 by Texan, the same company that published Star Soldier on the NES. You guys still aren't believing me, are you? You still think I'm shading the truth because it's another franchise from my youth I love. This is a great game. And you know what? It takes a lot of cues from other great NES games, and I think after this review, you may come to appreciate the game a little bit more if you don't already know about it. There are 6 playable characters in G.I. Joe. You can play as the ever-steady leader of the G.I. Joe team, Duke, Snake Eyes, Blizzard, Captain Gridiron, Rock and Roll, and when you get to the last level of the game, you can unlock General Hawk. The game is comprised of 6 stages. One of the unique things they put in place here in G.I. Joe was each stage is led by one of the G.I. Joe team. Stage 1 is the Amazon, which is led by Duke, and then you can select 2 additional playable characters to go along on the mission. Antarctica is Blizzard's mission, New York is Snake Eyes, the Black Hills, Captain Gridiron, Sahara, Rock and Roll, and the final stage in the Cobra base is where you finally get to play as General Hawk, and he will lead the mission. And he's also critical in defeating Cobra Commander, the game's final boss. Each stage or subsequent substage has its own boss at the end of the level. These range from vehicles from the G.I. Joe universe to different villains that we've seen throughout the comics, cartoons, and toys in general. The boss battles are fun, very enjoyable, and they usually revolve around figuring out some kind of pattern where once you discover it, you can defeat the enemies very easily. So guys, as you can clearly see, this is a very well constructed and fun NES game. But I guess you're wondering what I was talking about earlier when I said it takes a lot of cues from a lot of other great NES games. You remember earlier in the review I said G.I. Joe shared or stole traits from other great NES games, one of which is TMNT, and that is with the actual character options. when you go into your missions, you get to select 3 characters that you're going to take along the mission. And these characters are interchangeable throughout the level. Just like TMNT, if you get down on the life of one of your characters, you can actually switch them out. Or they represent the number of lives that you have throughout the level. Graphically speaking, for a game that was released in 1991, G.I. Joe is very impressive. If you actually look at the character sprites, I don't know if anybody else has ever noticed this, but they're very similar to the way the characters were drawn in Castlevania on the NES. The best way to describe the gameplay genre is side-scrolling action, very similar to Batman on the NES. As you progress along the level, you can choose to confront your enemies with hand-to-hand combat, or as you pick up power-ups, you can actually use your items or weapons. I'm going to be the first one to admit, there's no such thing as a perfect game. There is one really irritating thing about G.I. Joe on the NES.
If there was one quirk or complaint that I actually make about this game, it's actually the process of getting power-ups. Other than the power-ups that are stationary, which you can just jump up and pick up, most of them come from enemies, and what happens is, after you shoot or defeat the enemy, the power-up just bounces all over the screen, and a lot of times you end up missing it.
Other than that, G.I. Joe on the NES is a very enjoyable game. It's not a game I had as a kid, actually. I rented it, really liked it, but I never got around to picking it up because it was released in 1991, right around the same time that the SNES was just about to come out. So, unfortunately, I overlooked this one, and after playing as an adult, I really wish I hadn't. One of the things that I find a little bit confusing about it, though, is I am a huge G.I. Joe fan. I'm a huge fan of the comic books, I'm a huge fan of the cartoons, I'm a huge fan of the story overall, and I can't exactly place where or which universe this game fits into. As far as I can tell, I think this is much like every other item G.I. Joe did, more as a mechanism to sell toys. The closest thing I got from it is I checked out Wikipedia, and they listed that the General Hawk that's actually in this game is basically based off the 1991 toy release. So that's the closest I could come to actually fitting where the storyline from G.I. Joe fits into the G.I. Joe canon. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. G.I. Joe on the NES is a fantastic game, and I hope you give it a chance. This is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you next time.